to a customer, you? I just gave him the thumbs up sign. What are you doing? I go,
what are you doing?
Podcast. He didn't say anything else after that.
No, he doesn't want to be in the podcast. Come on, Pierre.
Is he on?
Where are you? We're on.
Are we rolling?
And we are 28.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's fucking dark in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't plug in the mood lights. They'll kick on. Just take a minute to
Have to warm up.
or something or other.
Warm up the LEDs.
I'm going to take my trash down here. Yes,
Warm up the LEDs.
Oh.
Are we on?
Oh my God, that's so good.
Is it episode 28?
It is episode 28. It is
Episode 28, January 31st, Thursday,
that's not
4:49.
Right. Oh, I guess it is 4:49.
I keep thinking today's Friday, man.
Oh, we got one more, bro. One more.
I got an email. It says, I enjoy your guys' videos. I enjoy the videos you make in the morning. See, that's my problem. I read. I'm reading the first 3 words, and then I assume the next words, and I add words into it. I enjoy your video. I enjoy your videos that you make in the morning. I know if I didn't get up and run in the morning and then see your morning videos, I know I will feel like shit because I did not get it done. Also, I started listening to Andy Frisella because heard you talk about him. Lastly, tell Skully I like his stories.
Hey,
Dan.
How many breakfast videos did you do? How many breakfast videos do you think you guys did?
Oh, I don't know. We did a lot of them.
I was just wondering.
Hundreds?
Because he keeps saying in the morning. And
No, I do a video of every morning.
Oh, in the morning if you walk
I get
around
up in the morning.
Dogs.
I get up in the morning and before I go to the gym, I make a point to go outside and make a video. I do a 1-minute video every morning on Instagram. As soon as I come in here, my vision goes fucking to shit.
Because it's the lighting. The lighting.
Like as soon as I come in here, like fucking my vision is fucking like I just smeared some Vaseline on my eyes.
It's the lighting. Or it could be the poop. I don't know. One of the two.
Love to hear. We're gonna do this podcast right now. This is replies to our video that we did over the weekend out in the garage or last Friday. We had some guests, a bunch of dudes in town for tactical response shotgun class. Pierre, that's my fucking boy. I know you guys are saying some stuff about him here. Well-rounded warrior. Josh, he did the belt video. He's done a lot of video. He uses a lot of SOE gear. He bought all that fucking SOE gear that you've seen in his videos up until the belts. I gave him the belts. He came in to buy those too, and I'm like, here, fucking take the belts, destroy them. He's like, what do you want me to do with them? I go, I don't care what you do with them, just fucking take it as far as you can take it. So that's what you guys saw in there. Ed Hubble, he comes down to train at TAC Response from Canada. Fucking solid dude. Jody Bockham, that's one of our boys. Weapons Junkie on Instagram, check him out. So that's what these comments are from. Love to hear you guys take on fentanyl. Love to hear you guys take on the fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Bust China's part in it, and what I have not even seen this fucking comment. Where the fuck did this come from? Zin Li Ye Gone.
It's probably somebody we arrested.
I'm sure he's still running shit on that end. Anxious to hear. I don't know anything about it. I know this is the first I fucking heard about this. You're gonna have to fill us in.
What's your favorite pirate company?
Pirate company.
Yeah, your favorite pirate company. Like, your favorite. It's your company that you want to. The British company that you love.
Fucking North America.
You know, yeah.
From Taboo.
Yeah.
East India Trading Company.
East India Trading Company. So what a lot of you probably don't know is that when you think of the Chinese, and I don't know what this is reference for, but I just see the fentanyl and he's kind of naming some Chinese people. That the drug war was actually started by the East India Trading Company, and the East India Trading Company was actually providing all the opium in China that was fucking up all the Chinese. It actually was close to starting a war between China and Britain because the East India Trading Company was taking opium out of India, I think, and they were trading it in China for Chinese goods, but they had a lot of it, and so they were dumping it in China. So when you think about like San Francisco and all the opium dens and stuff that you see in the old cowboy movies.
All your old Wild West towns.
Yeah, that's actually a holdover from when the East India Trading Company was taking opium over there.
That and sexually transmitted diseases. That was all fucking rampant, fucking crazy through those towns. All your Chinese rail workers and all that shit. Not that they brought it in, but holy cow. That guy in the Odie green pants and black shirt is annoying. He keeps cutting people off and trying to loud talk others that don't agree with his points.
You should see him when he's driving. He cuts people off all the time. That's HVT number 1, by the way. If you're in Camden, that's HVT number 1.
That's our boy. For you guys that don't know, that's the only dude that, like, there's probably 5 dudes that even know where I fucking live, much less come to my house. That dude is welcome any place I am, any fucking time. Forever Ride, he says he carries a bazooka.
Combat bazooka. Like I said,
do they still have bazookas?
Well, no, you wouldn't call it a bazooka. I mean, we're
like the AT-4, RPG-7, because those are bazookas, right?
Well, yes, they are.
What is the definition of bazooka?
They're just not. So the difference. So, for example, the RPG is front loaded.
Okay.
So the RPG is front loaded. A bazooka is rear loaded. Nobody uses them anymore because the charges weren't very well, and they're not. It's like carrying a 60 millimeter. Most of them were about I want to say 5.7, and some a little bit bigger than that. I think the Marine Corps had actually a 3.5 inch one at one time. But they're just, the problem is ammunition and how you carry it around. That's why everybody went to a self-contained unit. So even like the small rocket, it's just a self-contained unit that attaches to the back of the thing, and it's the whole unit. You don't have to assemble anything. Those old rockets, you would have to assemble, click wires onto the fucking thing to get it to fire. So it really took 2 people to shoot it. A small rocket, AT-4. What else do we have nowadays? The Javelin. In theory, one guy could run that out and shoot it. He doesn't need an 8-gunner.
Now, some of those actually have wires that attach to the unit. You can kind of steer them.
Yeah, so those are wire-guided missiles. Tow missile is still wire-guided, and it's a thin. It's a hair
right?
thin. Yeah, I want to say it's 4.5 miles of thin like hair wire that is coming out of that missile as it's firing. And as long as he keeps the sight on the target, it'll fly right to the target. So if it's a tank and he goes forward, all he has to do is move the sight, and it'll send that rocket to the only problem is, and this happens all the time in training. I don't think I've seen it happen over there, but if you're out of 29 Palms and you shoot a tow out, and there's any bushes or anything in the way, you can sever that wire, and then the fucking missile just goes wherever it wants to go.
Does it kind of stay on course though?
Yeah, it kind of stays on course, but you just never know once that wire gets severed, the signal that's there, and so it'll fucking go wherever it wants. It's kind of why, and the Dragon was the same way. So if you look at any of the old Russian doctrine, if a Dragon missile, like if we fired a tow or a Dragon missile, their swing capability was to swing the main turret or the coaxial machine gun and just fire in the direction of the gunner, because all you needed, so if the tow missile's going, all I need is that gunner to go fuck, and then the missile's going wherever it goes.
So what about a Bangalore torpedo?
We don't use I don't want to say we don't.
Does it actually shoot something out?
It does not shoot anything out.
I always pictured it as kind of like 3 pieces of nunchuck that were giant that you kind of unfold and throw over some wire, and it kind of thermites through your wire.
Except you don't do it that way. It's tubes. The tubes are, I'm sure some EOD guys are going to be like, no, they're not. The tubes, I think, if I remember right, they're 8 feet long a piece. They're either 8 or just at 6 feet a piece. And all it is a tube full of high explosives. That's it. It's just a tube full of high explosives. You get a number. So if we're Sanzi, Wajima, Pork Chop Hill, you get a number everybody gets a number, 1 through 12 or whatever in the squad. And everybody has a section of Bangalore torpedo. And you have to get to the obstacle and push your piece as far through the obstacle as you can, and then you roll off. The next guy comes, he connects his piece. The idea is to get it all the way on the other side of the obstacle. Once it's on the other side of the obstacle, then you detonate it like a regular explosion. It throws that stuff up. Now, we use all the line charges to do that now, so you don't have to have guys actually.
So were they using like an M60 fuse igniter, like a typical charge set?
I'm not. I think so. I'm not. I think we stopped using those in Korea, actually.
The only exposure I had to, like, I've never seen one. Maybe in a museum. Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and that's pretty much how we would use it.
Love this podcast, but this was hard to watch. Jason. Jason. Listen to it. If you couldn't watch that one, go back and listen to it. 2 days before that, we actually put up the audio. Just listen. Edward Bentley. John, really like the Bunker podcast with Skully and the occasional guest like Dora.
When did we do Dora? Did Dora actually come? She didn't come in there, did she?
No, that morning we actually...
Oh, yeah, when we had her out there,
yeah. Is that
Dora the Explorer.
Is that your way of being nice and not saying you didn't like the Pierre part? That's what that sounded like to me. Primary function of a firearm is to project a payload. The payload is meant for destruction, so firearms aren't designed to kill. It's a secondary function. I get it, but do you really think there's a gun manufacturer out there that's like, okay, we're not going to kill. All that shit was designed to kill something. It was to fucking throw a rock harder. I hear what you're saying, but that, I say bullshit. What?
No, I mean, it's...
I have not heard your take on this. What is your take on it?
There was never a point when, once the firearm was invented, there was never a point where it was not always about killing, period. It's always, whether you're talking about killing a deer more efficiently or whether you're talking about killing people more efficiently, that is inherently within the design of the firearm system. The question is always what's inside here. It's got nothing to do with the weapon system. It's what's inside here. Because the reality is, if you're in the military or you're in a defensive situation or you're law enforcement, you're not shooting somebody to wound them. We're not shooting guns out of people's hands. We're not doing none of that. We are shooting to fucking kill them. That's the point of that weapon system, is to kill them. But the question is it inherent? So just by having a gun, does that mean somebody's going to get killed? And the reality is, no. We have 300 and some plus. I think it's more close to 400 million. Just because of all the buying sprees that we've had in the last 10 years. But we have 400 million guns in the United States. If the point of all those guns, if the guns were really killing people, there wouldn't be anybody left. Nobody would be left. 400
million people killed.
Yeah, there wouldn't be anybody left. So the reality of it is, what you need to explain to people is, even as horrific as it is when somebody gets killed by a gun, if you take the population of the United States, or you could even go the amount of guns in the United States, the percentages are so low. That that wouldn't even be recalled. Like,
I'm pretty sure
they wouldn't recall popcorn if the popcorn was killing that many people.
More people are killed with a hammer in the United States every year than fucking firearms.
Yeah, the thing that
people die from bee stings.
The thing that they don't talk about really is how many people are actually shot. Now, that number is ridiculous. There's, especially like if you look at some of the numbers in Chicago, when they talk about 400 people killed in Chicago, there was 4,000 people shot in Chicago.
I thought too, if you take away suicide, it lowers the number like 90% or something.
Oh yeah, if you take away suicide,
when you always hear these gun deaths, if you take like dude walking up and smoking a dude, fucking dying like that,
very rare.
That's less than 10% of those numbers they throw out there, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very rare for that to be the case. And then the other thing about that is, when you're talking about gun fatalities and actual people shooting, and I know you don't want to hear this. I know you don't want to hear this. Well, you guys probably do that are listening to this podcast, but if you're a liberal Democrat, you definitely don't want to hear this. You ban liberal Democrats from owning firearms, 90% of all firearm-related deaths disappear tomorrow. If you make it illegal for Democrats to own guns.
For anti-personal use, handguns are pretty shit anyways. Orange Man isn't calling me for the death squads anytime soon, so I'll stick with my 9mm. If any World Star hip-hop shit happens, I think I'll be good. Admittedly, I'd have a really hard time telling Jeff anything, considering his resume.
Who is that?
John G.
No, you're 100%. You are 1,000% right. The only reason why people don't carry around AR-15s to defend themselves or fucking flamethrowers is because you can't conceal them. A handgun.
Not only that, your laws, even the legal ones, they don't let them.
Your handgun. The only reason why the handgun is out there as much as it is just because of the capability of concealment. It's easier for you to carry around a handgun than it is to carry around a bazooka, like we were talking about before, and so that's why people carry handguns. They don't carry them because they're effective. They're not. A handgun is more likely to wound somebody than it is to ever kill them. Okay, and I get it. You're a ninja. You shoot 10,000 rounds on the range every day. You blow the X-ring out of your target. Get in a gunfight. You're more likely not to kill anybody with a handgun than any other weapon. They're actually shitty when it comes to getting in a gunfight.
Small motor skills out the window.
Yeah, they're shitty when it comes to getting in a gunfight. That's why you have 4,000 people that were wounded in Chicago and not killed, because they're not very effective. But they're, it's accessible. You can have it, so you can defend yourself. Most encounters require 2 rounds, and in those 2 rounds, whether it's fatal or not fatal, the attacker usually stops. That means if you're doing this and you shoot the motherfucker in the leg, there's a good chance that fight is over. Now, you can't count on that because you never know that person's frame of mind. But the reality is, that's most of your shootings right there. So a handgun is a good deterrent, and it's a good defensive weapon, but it's not a very good offensive weapon. When we talk about an offensive weapon, we're talking about a weapon that will actually kill people. And, they're terrible. If I could carry an M16 around all the time, I probably wouldn't. But, I mean, the reality is I probably wouldn't. But a handgun is a terrible choice. I can tell you, that I had a situation in Afghanistan, or not Afghanistan. I got a situation in Iraq where I was with a squad. Actually, it wasn't even a squad. It was a reinforced fire team. It was a fire team with a machine gun section attached to it and a small section attached to it. Rocket guy. And we got surrounded. And we spent the whole day shooting it out with bad guys, blowing stuff up. And since forever, I've always carried no less than 13 magazines on me at all times. Because, in the small unit world, so when you're talking about snipers and shit, in the small unit world, you are going to fight and die with what's on your back. Nobody is coming to your rescue. If you want to say you want to fucking, I'm only going to carry 6 magazines because it's lighter, when you run out of ammunition, you are dead. So you fight and die with what's on your back in the real world. So I was carried 13 magazines of 5.56, and then I had 60 rounds of 9mm, which I thought was a good idea. But I will tell you what, at that night when we were getting ready to leave and pull out, all I had was the fucking pistol. And pulling that fucking pistol out of the holster and then looking how far we had to go from where we were at to the fob, that fucking pistol was like, it was like the fucking squeaky cricket, man. I was just like, I might as well just put this back in here and hope for the best. Because going into a fucking real gunfight with a pistol is It works for John Wick, but it doesn't work in the real world. So that's my pistol story.
Noisy cricket.
Noisy cricket, yeah. I mean, the noisy cricket was a good pistol, but
so enough shit on your person to fight your car.
Yep.
Enough shit in your car to fight to your house. Enough shit at your house to fucking bail out and fight to your secondary, tertiary location, whatever. So you would have rather than in lieu of carrying those extra 9mm bullets,
I should have carried more 5.56. Yeah, I should have carried more M16 ammunition and more grenades because I was out of grenades too.
How far can you throw a grenade? Why are you carrying? Why grenades and not fucking a 203?
Because I didn't have it. A staff sergeant in the Marine Corps can't carry an M203.
What?
Yeah, you can't carry. I mean, I honestly, if I could at that time period when we were in Huseba, if I could have carried a saw, I would have carried a saw.
Could you have just gone to the bazaar, the holiday market, and just bought some fucking grenades?
No.
From a peddler?
Maybe.
I've seen the movies with the pyramids and shit.
I guess maybe. I did get lucky and scam an M79 grenade launcher at the end, and so I had a fucking an M203, but because the M79 was so old, right? The battalion ended up getting 9 M79 grenade launchers. Well, they got the Mark 36s at the same time, which is the automatic 6-shot. It's like a giant revolver. It's got 6 or 8. I think it's 6 grenades, HEDP grenades that you can fire at this thing. Well, you know how it is. All the kids want the new toys. They got all these M79 grenade launchers for the companies, and the companies were like, we don't want those. We've got these. We've got these fucking crazy ass. So I was in the armory when it happened, and I'm like, Gunny, I want all of them. He's like, I can't give you all of them. The companies want some. I go, they're not going to take those. Nobody wants that. They got the Mark 36s. They don't need that motherfucking grenade launcher. And he's like, no, they're going to want them. And then 2 days later, I came back, and I'm like, do I get to sign for all those grenade launchers? And he's like, yeah, nobody wants them. So we did have same ammunition. Yeah.
Round,
same ammunition. Yeah.
Would you rather carry a 79 or a 203?
I think I would have rather have it the way I had it. I carried the 79 and the M4 carbine.
How did you carry the 79?
Just slung.
So just on the back of your armor?
Yeah, I just had it. I just slung it, and then I would have in my 79 I would have a flare because we do a lot of night stuff. So it would always be loaded with the flare, because for me it was a secondary weapon. Where what a lot of people don't know is the M203 grenade launcher. That is when you are a fire team leader. Even the Marine Corps doesn't teach this very well. When you're a fire team leader, the grenade is your primary weapon system. The grenade is your primary weapon system, not the M16 that it's attached to. The M16 that it's attached to is for defensive purposes only. That's there so if you have to shoot somebody who's about to stick a bayonet in your eye, you can shoot that. You use the M203 grenade launcher to direct the fires of your fire team. So,
preferably your belt feds.
Preferably your saw gunner, but everybody in the fire team. It's much easier for me to give an ADRAC, give me a direction and distance to a target, and then for everybody to shoot at it if I fire a grenade in that general direction. So it gives the fire team a point of impact to start shooting at targets. And that's what the M203 grenade launcher is really for. That's why we have 4 of them in a squad, so they can direct the fire teams.
Same as your tracers.
Yeah, same as the tracers.
Were you guys running tracers?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Still in a semi-gun like that, or every 5th round?
That's how we were doing it still. I mean, and that's the weird thing too, is like you have these training things that you run through in the military where how to use, when and how to use tracers and stuff like that. But never once, so the 3 times, never once did anybody go, all right, here's tracers, here's your ball ammunition, this is how you load your magazines according to this. They just issued it out. So I know that, like I had guys that didn't, they were like, tracers. The fuck do we do with these? And there's a lot of, you can go into a whole bunch of things like on how to use tracers effectively, as far as marking targets or just overwhelming fire with tracers. There's a bunch of different shit you could do with that.
You ever light a fire with them?
Yeah, at Camp Pendleton. Yeah, all the time.
Did you ever see gasoline explode from them?
I don't think so. I don't think we ever. No, I don't think so.
Because you see in the movies, they shoot a car and
it blows up.
No,
it doesn't happen.
I've shot tracers at cars and stuff.
It doesn't
not just randomly at cars, like some cars out in the desert kind of shit. And we never had anything fucking.
Yeah.
We never were able to get anything to blow up.
It's kind of a rarity, especially if the fuel, like if what you should have done,
because it's concealed, it's contained fuel. You need the vapor.
Yeah, what you should have done is let most of the fuel out of the tank, so that the tank was more than halfway full of vapor, and then maybe that tracer would set it off.
Like shooting at a bucket of gasoline, you're not going to fucking do anything to it. Concealed carry, I'll take a 9mm, which I carry a Glock 19 with a 26 grip shot. Just to maintain capacity. An open carry, full-size duty gun, I'll take 45 Glock 21-41. Nobody going to steal my safe unless they remove 3 door jams and carry it up half a dozen stairs. No, they're not going to steal your safe. It's going to be somebody that knows you have the safe, and they're going to come in and cause a distraction someplace, or come in and cause no distraction, and they're going to work on your safe. They're going to cut the back of your safe out. They're going to come in with a Broco torch. They're going to come in with a chemical torch of some sort, and they're going to just or a what the fuck am I thinking? Not a TIG welder, a plasma cutter. They're going to come in with a little ass plasma cutter. They're going to go, and they're going to reach in your safe.
And depending on what kind of safe you have, I don't mean to bust anybody's bubbles, but let's say you've got, you went to Lowe's and bought a Browning
Supply, or
a Browning safe down there at Lowe's or whatever. Those are the bottom of the barrel.
Liberty.
And you can actually get in those safes with a fucking road pry bar. So the bars when you see this construction crews put the steel plates down on the road, they have pry bars. They're about this big, and all it is to move those plates. You can get those pry bars into the seam of the safe, and you can actually pry those fucking doors open. The key here is not to think about your security apparatus as, I put my guns in the safe so the guns are safe because they're in the safe. Everything is about time. It's how much time. How much time does it take them to get through the front door? How much time does it take them to find the safe? Because remember, time is always response. So if you
and hopefully your fucking lights and your sirens and your fucking bells and your phone line that they cut, but you have a backup cellular that they don't know you have. Hopefully all that shit simultaneously is going off. Because that dude's not going to want to stay in there while your strobes are going, while your fucking sirens are going. And don't have one. Have a sacrificial that they see. Yeah. Have a secondary, and then have a 3. You got to have fucking 3 of everything. We have a bank vault backup. You come in and fucking cut the phone lines to our shit. We have a fucking cellular transmitter that is and that motherfucker is hidden. And it has a 72-hour backup on the cell phone in addition to the bank vault backup. Like, it's all doable.
It's all just about time. All you're trying to do is delay. You're trying to create more time to take it longer and longer for them to get in there, because every second, so outside of it's your cousin and he knows that you are in fucking the Bahamas until next week, he has created a time window. He knows how long he has to be in your house, cut your safe open, and take all your guns.
Somebody that you know.
Somebody
that knows somebody.
Yeah, he's got a time window. If it's a real burglar, or I'm not going to say a real burglar, but if it's somebody that's actually burglarizing your house,
I'll say professional.
Professional. All you're doing is slowing them down. And the reality is, the longer they're in your structure, the more worried they're going to be that somebody is going to show up. So it's just about creating time. I can get in your safe.
The professionals, when you get hit by a professional, you're not even going to know it happened right off. The biggest thing is they come in your house while you're home, even go immediately to the master bedroom and close the door. lock the door to the master bedroom, and start going through your shit. Everybody keeps all their shit in the same fucking place. Spearco likes to, Spearco has, he likes to say he has a little safe that's in one of the common places, like on the top shelf in your closet or whatever. Bad guy comes in, sees that safe, grabs the safe, leaves. That's just a fake safe. Core safe down in the fucking floor. They're not getting that motherfucker. They're going to have to work on that shit. There's different levels of safe. There's a safe company called Brown Safe. They make a safe called the Man Safe. They're out of California, I believe Escondido. Fucking beautiful piece of fucking artwork. $25,000. You order this safe. It comes exactly how you want it. It's got carbon fiber face. It has Lamborghini diamond stitched quilted leather, Bentley leather, whatever you want. You can do it in brushed aluminum. Amazing safe. It doesn't have shit for rating. You can cut right through the fucking back of them, unfortunately. That's the thing. When I posted that up, because I really wanted one of these, it was beautiful. They have watch winders built in the door so you can see your watches winding, but they're still secured behind bulletproof glass. Beautiful. But when dudes looked at it, they're like, the rating on that it's shit. I could get in that thing. Dudes started commenting. I had a buddy of mine, an SF dude, hit me up. He's like, bro, I could get in that safe in under 10 fucking minutes. And he told me exactly how he would do it.
Those Walmart or fucking Costco little white safes the fire safes that everybody buys to put their documents and stuff like that, or
I've opened those.
Your gold bars. You literally, all you have to do is pick that safe up this high, turn it sideways, and drop it on a corner, and those safes will open.
Yep. There's a little concrete or plastic.
Now those reality of the world, they're not advertising those as, burglar safes. It's really a fire safe for documents,
and check that too, your fire ratings.
Yeah, safe is no good if all the guns are burnt up inside of it. And that's just for people that have a lot of guns. If you got a lot of guns, and you probably should invest in a pretty secure location to have them. I'm here in Tennessee. I could literally lay my guns out on the couch and just come to work every day. All of my, it's crazy when I say this, all the excess guns are locked in safes. Now,
you can do a safe, you can do a vault room too. Do it out of cinder blocks, reinforce it, concrete floor, fucking steel I-beam, steel roof, and then, your temperature things. Drywall, you can do it. It's all doable.
A real ninja could get my guns if he really wanted to. The safes are only there to keep crackheads out. But then you have to contend with doing all that and me not catching you on surveillance. So chances are,
or secondary surveillance,
I'm gonna catch you on surveillance, and then the law enforcement are gonna have a place to start. They do have these really cool things that I thought about. I thought about buying and getting to put on the inside.
Getting yourself.
Inside of your safe. But they have these motion sensors. They have these motion sensors that you can put on the front of your safe that's CS gas. So if somebody comes and is in front of your safe or goes into your gun room, this thing is there, and if you don't punch a code in a certain amount of time, that thing will fire fucking CS and bomb out the whole room. All that does is it's pretty cool. All it does is create time. So
your average crackhead.
Yeah, your average crackhead is not going to want to have anything to do with that. I saw one
today. They were doing, it said meth house. I think the dude was doing a cleanup on the meth house because they didn't look like they were executing a warrant, but he had a stick, like a long bamboo or fishing pole or something, and there's a stairwell right here, and he just waves it across, and down fucking boom, pendulums down. It's a crutch, like an aluminum crutch. It had a giant fucking spike on it. And so he triggered it. He knew it was there somehow. He triggered it and started walking up the stairs. And right when you would have been there, it would have fucking got you right in the head. There's all kinds of... There's some shit out there. We have all the legislative firearm stuff you were talking about in South Africa. Sounds good, but has huge problems. Would take hours to describe how the state screws you around. From start to finish, with all the paperwork, it can easily take over a year from start to finish. I like the way South Africa does it, where they just have jump out teams. They have like SIS following dudes around, and they roll up in 3 like old ass square body style Crown Vics and jump out and just fucking go to guns. It's like a fucking... There's some crazy YouTube videos of that shit out there.
Yeah, the gun laws... Here's the thing about any of that stuff, whether it's your medical benefits, whether it's your gun laws, whether it's driving a car. You don't want the government involved in deciding how that stuff's done, because their bureaucracy in itself will make it fucking ridiculously stupid. So even if you believe that what they're doing is a good idea, like it's a total good idea, fucking bureaucrats are going to get involved, and they're going to take it and twist it in such a fucking mess that it becomes useless. And the prime example of that is California and gas cans. California decided they were going to get in the gas can business, and they fucking destroyed gas cans.
And then that's California Air Resource Board, which made you have to have a catalytic converter and an extra fucking muffler on your fucking lawnmower and shit, right? So 48 states have picked up the CARB fucking law.
Yeah.
So it started in California. 48 states have picked up the California Air Resource Board fucking act. That's why your gas cans are all fucked up now.
And it turns out that it's actually worse for California because nobody uses that spout. So now everybody's just open pouring.
Dumping shit all over the
because
ground.
that fucking spout is worthless.
It's an ad hominem argument that your guest was referring to. You attack your opponent rather than his argument.
We have to attack him because he's HVT number 1.
I don't know if he meant that. Frenchie is fixated on Glock 19 size handgun. That's because he can keister it.
Yeah, everybody likes the Glock. I have Glocks. They're just gangster guns.
New look, good stuff. Another great chin wag. Thank you, gentlemen. Daniel Marshall.
Thank you, Daniel.
From England.
Oh, was that Daniel
Jolly
again?
old England.
Awesome, Daniel.
Hammer. Oh, shit. Black Hammer.
That's the Black Hammer.
It's the Black Hammer.
The Black Hammer.
John, this was hard to watch. I love to hear you and Skully interact. It would be great to have the well-rounded warrior on again. The guy in black and green, not so much. As much as I like everything you do, I will pass next time. I stopped and came back 4 times because I did not want to miss what you and Skully had to say. I told you, it's like a cult.
Yeah.
She'll be back. They all come back. I feel like he knows Frenchie. And he's
I think we need to bring...
I feel like all these dudes know Frenchie.
I think we need to bring Frenchie back and just let him redeem himself. I'm sure that he has some quality about him. Like, you know what? We fucked up. We shouldn't have talked about guns. What we should have done is started talking about Mercedes-Benzes.
Or
because he
or
would have been on point.
How to buy a car, how to buy a used car.
How to buy a used car, or any mechanical question that you have.
Or Euros.
He is a fucking genius. I still don't understand why I have believed that all my life.
What?
About the radiator. I still don't understand how I didn't...
You understand what he was saying, though.
No, I 100% understand what he's saying. Even
if it's going to do damage, it's already done damage by expanding and cracking.
And here is my problem. My problem is what he said is 100% correct. I'm sure of it. But even still, I'm like, I don't think he understands what I was telling him.
Right.
But it doesn't make sense.
Well, let's explain. So I got 12 cars sitting out here. I've got fucking the garage is full of cars. I've got 12 cars out front. I always have something that has not been run regularly enough, so the battery dies. So the Range Rover is sitting out front. Pierre did a bunch of work on the Range Rover 6 months ago.
Yeah, 6 months ago.
Range Rover of Nashville put a fucking battery in. It says Range Rover. I'm sure I paid fucking twice as much as you'd pay for a battery because it says Range Rover. So it's got a brand new battery in it. Battery's dead. We jump it off. We've got this killer jump pack. Pierre said to buy it. Fucking awesome jump pack. We jump it off, get it started. While the hood is up, I noticed that the radiator bottle, because there's no fill back for anywhere for the radiator. You can't even see the radiator. You fill this bottle. Well, the bottle has orange radiator fluid in it, but it is all pushed up, not down like liquid would be. It's all up here, and it's a frozen block of ice. So I'm like, hey, if this radiator fluid is frozen, is that going to mean all the radiator fluid in the engine is frozen? Is that a problem? And Pierre's like, nah, just run it. If it's done damage, it's already done the damage. Don't worry about it. And so that was Jeff. What did you hear? What was it you had always heard?
And What Pierre says makes sense because I was not thinking about radiator fluid in the engine block. I was not thinking about the two things being frozen at the same time, and then the damage would be from the radiator block.
From the engine block.
From the engine block. In my understanding, I've always been told like this: don't put water in your radiator. Don't let it freeze. Had nothing to do with the engine itself, other than in my head, this is what I was thinking. When the engine gets to temperature, so it gets to 1500 degrees or 1200 degrees, it gets to temperature, and you have that slushy, almost frozen water in the radiator, and the valve opens, and the hot water comes in the bottom, and the cold water shoots into the engine.
See, I didn't even catch that until right now that's what you were thinking.
The cold water shoots in the engine, that it's the cold water that shoots in the engine that fucks up the engine. That's the way I always thought about it. I'm not a mechanic. I always thought it that way, and I never even crossed my mind that the damage had nothing to do with the water in the radiator. It would be the water in the block freezing and expanding, which totally makes sense, 100%. Not even questioning Pierre on this. That's the way I always thought about it.
This guy, Black Hammer, has more to say. He says, guy in black and green is wrong. Guns are not designed to kill people. Guns are designed to throw a rock further, faster, and more accurately. The individual decides what the use of the object they use the object for. I hear what you're saying. Come on, man. Guns were fucking made to kill shit.
Yeah, they don't. When the first gun was designed, they didn't go. They didn't design the gun.
Let's shoot some aluminum cans.
And then shoot some aluminum cans, and then accidentally shoot their buddy and go, oh shit! It also kills people. That's crazy. Guns are designed to kill, and they're designed to kill more efficiently. The reality is, the Gatling gun that was introduced at the end of the Civil War, the man who invented the Gatling gun. It's amazing how people who are so smart, like just brilliant, people that are on the brilliant list, that invent things and then are so stupid about what they invented. So, for example, the individual who designed the Gatling gun for the military, he designed the Gatling gun solely for this purpose. In his head, the Gatling gun would be so horrific on the battlefield that we would no longer fight wars because of the Gatling gun.
How'd that work?
It didn't work out very well. Well, even Custer left the Gatling gun behind. That's why he got his ass wiped.
Because it was heavy.
Yeah, it was just the wagon train for the Gatling gun, logistics of it.
Hey, nobody is stocking up on dollar around bullshit 9mm. Think about it. Just standard 9mm ball versus 45 ball.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm not a... I know everybody think like, oh man, 45, 45, 45. That is not my stance on firearms. I carry a 45. You should carry the biggest caliber you can comfortably, reliably shoot. If that is a fucking 32, carry the fucking 32. If it's a 22, carry the 22. And don't let anybody bullshit you about one thing being more effective than the other. The reality of it, and I know the fucking ninjas out there they don't want to hear this. The reality of it, a lot of it has to do with luck. I can show you just as many people who were killed with fucking 32s as 9mm. It's just luck of the draw. Luck of the draw. Did I use draw in there?
Gary Johnson. I think Pierre needs to lay off the blow for a week or two. He was all jacked up on Mountain Dew, going to come at me like a spider monkey. For you guys that don't know, Gary Johnson is a friend of Pierre's. My coupon man. They're my fucking guns. I'll do what I want with them. If someone steals them and commits a crime, it's on them. Unfortunately, while you say that, that is not the fucking case in a lot of states. If somebody comes into your house and steals your guns and kills somebody, murders somebody, you are charged with manslaughter. Whether you're right or not, you're still going to spend fucking $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 defending your freedom because some shitbag stole your gun.
I mean, here's the thing. I get what you're saying. I have guns that are not secured. I get what you're saying, but you have to understand that a gun is a responsibility. You're creating a responsibility, just like anything, anything, just like John's Tiger. You have to weigh the pros and cons of what you're doing with that firearm. It's a responsibility, and you have to think smart about it. You can't just be like, I can do whatever the fuck I want, because here's the reality. I don't care if you're a big tough guy. I don't care who you are. If your gun gets stolen by some kid and he goes next door and shoots the next door neighbor's kid, you're not going to be all, I can do whatever I want with my guns. Fuck them. That is going to fucking destroy your life. Period. Your life will be destroyed.
Disclaimer, we don't have a tiger here. Before somebody fucking comes here looking
we don't
for
have
a tiger.
Well, not a big tiger. It's little.
Either way, it's not going to matter. In 10 years, this country is going to be a lot different than it is now. So stock up on all the necessities, because it's actually worse under Trump, not his fault, than it was under Hussein.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, Trump has, what has Trump done? It's not worse. As a matter of fact, Trump is the reason why the gun industry is fucking imploding right now. It's the reason why they're laying everybody off, because we're not panic buying. The only reason why Obama was Salesman of the Year is because we were panic buying. Everybody was panic buying. I don't panic buy. I buy guns all the time. But we, as a country, we were panic buying, and that's why he was Salesman of the Year. Trump in office, we are not panic buying. Nobody, if you really believed, if people really believed that Trump was this big fucking, I don't trust him, he's gonna take away all our guns.
Why aren't you buying more then?
Then the industry would be popping again, just like it was during Obama's era, because you would be like, I've got to buy ammo, I got to buy guns. We're not.
You're comfortable.
Because we're comfortable.
You can get 22 again, so you guys aren't buying
ammo.
it. So you're not fucking buying it. Everybody was talking about it, but as soon as you can get it, I'll get it tomorrow.
Let Nancy Pelosi accidentally become president of the United States, and then you'll all be buying guns and ammo again and going to courses and doing all that stuff. But
Grant Scott, 9mm might expand. 45 will never get smaller. That's a fucking pretty good one.
That is a good one. I've never used that one. I like that one.
Judd Miller, great podcast. I disagree with the loud one in black and green on just about everything he said, but that's what makes America great.
Yeah.
Oh shit, here's another. The heavyset guy in black and green is lame. Everybody else is having a nice, calm conversation. If he left, this would be much easier to watch. Come on, guys.
It's good. He's
you,
fine.
You
He's
would
fine.
actually, you would actually like Pierre. You will actually like Pierre.
It's, you know what? And the reality is, it does no good. It does none of us any good. It really does none of us any good for four guys to be in the garage talking about something that they all agree about. It doesn't do any good, because we can't convince ourselves of the same shit that we already believe. Where Pierre has a different take. He has a different take on some of those things, because he lives in Nashville and it's becoming so liberal. But anyways, he has a more liberal take on it. And if you don't understand where they are coming from, then you can't prevent them from doing what they want to do. Outlaw. Not that Pierre wants to outlaw guns. He doesn't. He comes and trains and he shoots and
I would bet money he shoots and trains.
Yeah, probably more than any
of you guys that fucking commented about him combined. Outlaw 762. The gun community as a whole forgets its origins and wouldn't even exist without the Second Amendment. Shall not be infringed. No ifs, ands, or buts. The gun debate was settled in 1787. I like where you're going. So let's use that logic on all the other bullshit also. In 1787, and our rights was not to be infringed upon, and no and nowhere in the Constitution did it say you had to register or take a pistol craft or rifle class to legally obtain a firearm. I agree with you. So try and it also didn't say we had to pay taxes. So just pick any one of those things and don't abide by them, and see who comes to your door, because it'll be the same people.
The reality is you're kind of lucky. I don't want to say you. We are kind of lucky. We've gotten lucky with Donald Trump by having him as president, because he is putting in federal judges all over the United States that are pro-Constitution. If a Second Amendment case goes to the Supreme Court right now, I'm sorry, liberals, you will fucking lose. You'll lose. It doesn't matter what kind of case you think you have, you will lose. And that is because Donald Trump was able to put conservative judges on the bench. You want to see some shit? Here's my prediction. Let Ruth Gator Ginsburg be dead. Let her be dead.
She's dead.
Let her be dead. Let that come out that she has died.
Is that bitch's
The
middle
fucking
name really Gator?
Gator Ginsburg. I don't know how to say it. Let her be dead. You'll see the liberals and the fucking SJWs were gonna fucking go through the roof. You will definitely have riots then, because nothing that they will want to push down our throats will be able to get through the Supreme Court if he gets to put another judge up there.
Go ahead and hit up all your local law enforcement. Hit up all your FBI local field offices, and just report a missing person. Ruth Gator Ginsburg, just report her missing.
And don't count on, I see a lot of stuff on Facebook about people like, the sheriff in my county, he says he's not going to enforce those gun laws or whatever. You cannot base your rights off of the fact that the sheriff says he's not going to arrest you. First off, it
won't be him arresting you.
Yeah, it's an elected position. So that means all you're doing is kicking that thing down the road, because the next sheriff may be like, fuck it, I'm going after all these guns. You're going to turn them in. So, I mean, that whole business, and then once again, if an officer makes an arrest based off of an illegal firearm, and you go into custody, at that point the sheriff can't do a goddamn thing. The sheriff can't be like, I'm letting all these criminals out. He can't do that. It's too late. You're in the system. You are in the system.
Again, thanks for these great videos and all the great gear. Keep up the good work. You're an inspiration for me and a lot of others, I'm sure. Thanks again. I guess that's it. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Very welcome.
You're welcome, Tony Smith Jr.
Never use. Don't use your full name, Tony Smith. Tony Smith Jr. I guess you didn't. Never mind. I was gonna say only people who kill presidents get to use their full name, so don't use your full name.
Ian Cornell. There is a cop who shot a guy 14 times with a .45. The dude was still walking around trying to kill the cop. Look up donut operation video on why one cop carries 145 rounds of 9mm on his person. We got a buddy who was shot in the fucking eye with a .45. He's walking around today. You would never know he was shot.
I will give you. Man, I wish I had more time in my life. I used to teach a terminal ballistics class. Terminal ballistics is what happens when the bullets actually hit the body. Just because you're carrying more 9mm does not mean you're going to fucking end somebody's life because you're carrying more 9mm. Same thing with the guy that was shot with the .45. I have an individual who was robbing a bank. So he's robbing a bank in Los Angeles. Officers arrive. Guy takes a shotgun out. The officer takes the shotgun out. He's got double-aught buck in his shotgun. Dude comes out the door. Boom. Shoots him in the head. Fucking shoots him right in the head. All pellets in the head. The next picture is of the same dude. Half his fucking head is flat. So half of his head is flat. And he's got a fucking placard around his neck because he got caught robbing a bank again after getting shot in the fucking face with double-aught buck. Like I said, what people don't want to admit to is a lot of it's luck. It's just sheer luck.
Or will to live.
Or will to live, but a lot of it's just sheer luck. So 9mm, 45, 37, you're always taking a chance that you're going to have to shoot more rounds. There's always that possibility. But remember, the more damage you can do, the better off. I had another guy that was shot 38 times with 9mm and 357. And he still was fighting the police until one officer came up with a shotgun and fired a slug. Guess what? The slug didn't kill him. He had to fire another slug to kill him. So, the human body can take all kinds of damage. And you can also convince yourself that you're dead. So, you never know.
There's people shot in the leg with 22s that fucking die. There's also people who have been fucking literally shot through the heart and then ran a half a fucking mile.
Yeah. Look up the Dade County shooting, the FBI Dade County shooting. One of those guys was dead. He was legally dead when he killed 2 of those FBI agents. First shot, 357 Magnum, through the shoulder, severed the fucking aorta artery. He's dead. And he still was able to kill 2 FBI agents.
The Murgatroyd. What the fuck is Murgatroyd? What's that from?
I don't know.
The Murgatroyd. Oh man, you people had me rolling when... You people? Who are you calling you people? Had me rolling when Skully was talking about the lazy ass bologna sandwiches. John, did you ever consider a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited instead of the Toyota? I bet there is more stuff out there for Jeeps than Tacomas. Truth be told, I should have bought a 4Runner and not the Toyota truck. I bought the Toyota truck for the same reason I didn't buy a Jeep, because it has a bed. That it's awesome. The problem I have, my Porsche Panamera, I can put more shit in the Porsche Panamera than I can in the Toyota, because the Toyota doesn't have a cap on it and I don't have bed boxes in there yet. I can't take 2 $1,500 drones and throw them in the bed of my truck. I can't take $7,000 worth of camera shit and throw it in the bed of my truck. I can throw my fucking mountain bikes in the bed. Well, kind of, if the tailgate's down. I can throw dirty shit in the bed of the truck. I wanted the truck. I did not want a Jeep. Amanda loves the idea of a Jeep. She's never had a Jeep. I could have a fucking completely badass Jeep out there, and she would not drive that fucking Jeep. I'm like, when we go places on Nashville or something on the weekend, we take the Toyota sometimes. Her choice, she would take a car every single time. So I wanted the Tacoma. We'll build you some Jeep stuff. What color's your Jeep? We'll make you some matching tool bags and all kinds of shit, and we'll put a Jeep logo or Chrysler or whatever the fuck, whatever. Well, I'll take your money. I'm not opposed to you having a Jeep. I like the Jeeps. I like the Jeeps on the back of the DuPont registry with 37s and fucking, Dana 60 Curry, front and rear ends in them and shit. I love that shit. I do. I wanted a Toyota though. I wanted Tacoma. That was a lot of convo in an hour. It went very fast, waiting for 25. Oh, that's Ed Hubble. That's the dude that was in the video with us. The Canadian speaks the French. Adam Gardner. A gun's purpose is kill. I understand the point, but it's flawed thinking. A hammer will kill you just as quickly, and its purpose to build things, intent is all that matters. Evil will do evil. Give enough of anything and it will kill you. I enjoy the podcast the most I enjoy this podcast the most so far. I think that the discussions about doing away with NFA restriction, etc., is a great method. I think it might be feasible to some extent. Thank you for the time, effort, cost. This is very informative and enjoyable. I look forward to the next one. I listen on the way to work and usually watch while working on side work at home. Oh, I'm allergic to Adam Gardner.
What you don't know about the NFA registry is, some of you may know this, especially if you're into machine guns and stuff like that, is that has been under attack since the day it was enacted. People have always been trying to push legislation to change that NFA registry. It's never going to go away. There's no way in hell that the Democrats are going to let you have a machine gun from Walgreens It's just not going to happen. Those days are over. You can thank Al Capone for that. He's the gangsters of the 20s and 30s were really the reason why we got rid of, made it so people couldn't own machine guns. But it ain't ever going away. I mean, when I got back from the first Gulf War, they were talking about opening it up, not changing it, but opening it up so World War II guys could register the machine guns they brought back from World War II. Like anybody, whatever you found your grandpa's Tommy gun, you could register it and make it legit. They won't even crack the case on that shit. They're not going to open that up for nothing, because then everybody's going to be, look at all these machine guns I found, right? Because the reality is they're out there. So they're not going to crack that thing open. They're not going to change it at all. The $200 tax stamp.
Anything they're making money on, they're never going to give away.
They're not making, I will say this, they're not making any money on that $200 tax stamp. They're probably losing money in the people that they have to hire to run those systems. The point of the $200 tax stamp is you have to put it in context. So you have to go back to 1930, you have to go back to the 1930s, put it in context and go, $200 tax stamp, who can afford $200, right? It's just been recently in American history where average Americans could afford $200 to buy a suppressor. And that's why it takes 10 years to get a fucking suppressor, because people are buying them now. Where, 6 years or 20 years ago, people weren't buying that many suppressors, because $200, when I was growing up, I was getting $2.34 an hour at work. So chances are I'm not going to spend $200 on a suppressor. But because of inflation, that $200 is turned into feasible money. I mean, we're kind of lucky that the Democrats aren't looking at raising that to a standard, an inflation standard of what it would have been in the 30s. Like, I mean, I'm sure that was very expensive when you could get a loaf of bread for 25 cents. So you have to look at it that way. They are not going to open the NFA. They're not going to change the NFA. We had, your Republican representatives had an opportunity to at least take suppressors off the NFA, and they fumbled. They did not push it through, so it is not going to happen. It's not all you people that are hearing conservation program. It's going to go. It's not going to happen. Not with the Democrats running the Senate. That bill and all that stuff is dead in the fucking water. So you can thank your Republican representatives, because they fucking drug their feet and they didn't push it through. They could have passed it. It's no different than when Obama was in charge and he controlled the House and the Senate. He could have passed all the gun legislation he wanted, but he didn't. He didn't do it. Same thing that these Republicans did. They didn't. They're not going to pass any of this shit. Right now, what you're going to see all the Democrats once this whole government shutdown thing disappears, the Democrats are going to push a bunch of laws, right? They're going to be like, assault weapons ban. Woo! We're going to do an assault weapons ban. Whatever. They're going to push all this bullshit. The only reason why they're pushing it is because they know that it will not pass. They had an opportunity to pass all that shit when Obama was president. They didn't push any of it.
Why?
Because gun legislation is a death nail for representatives. The last time they played this game, the Democrats lost hard. So even the Republicans, anything that you think is a push button issue, that you'll see, the only time it gets pushed is when the other party controls one house or the other. When we control everything, none of that shit gets pushed. It all gets put to the back burner. Because those are the explosive issues that would create some serious heartache for a lot of Americans. I mean,
I heard something. Democrats always vote. Republicans only vote till they win. Thus the
I can see that.
Thus, it's a death nail. It could be a death nail anytime, but it's only a death nail when they do some gun shit because that upsets the right, and they show up to vote. If you motherfuckers would show up to vote every other time, maybe it would make a difference. I don't know that I necessarily believe that, but so
we are actually out-represented. So if you look at actual voter registries, there are more Democrats registered to vote than Republicans by 10%. So, truth be told, if every registered Democrat voted and every single registered Republican voted, we would never win. The only reason why for example, the only reason why Donald Trump is president of the United States, because no fucking Democrats thought there was any way he was going to win. So a ton of those people stayed at home. They stayed at home because they were like, Hillary's going to win anyway, so why should I waste my time to go vote? That's the reason why Trump is president. You can't count on that next time. They're going to show up. The question is, how bad will their voting bloc be split? I am so fucking happy that all these Democrats are throwing their hat in the ring to be fucking president, because it's going to split and fracture the Democratic Party, and maybe come voting time, maybe come presidential election next time, a lot of them will stay home because, the Byrne's not going to be going for president, or Kamala Harris doesn't make it because she slept with everybody to get to the position she's at. There's no one else to sleep with. Hopefully that's what happens. But if they have average turnouts and we have average turnouts, we're gonna fucking lose every time.
So, the Home Antique and Garden Show.
Home Antique and Garden Show.
The big one. Is at the Nashville Convention Center, the new Nashville Convention Center. So I got these photos. Our boys that are setting up right now.
Is that bronze?
I believe it's bronze.
That's cool.
It's giant. Food dogs.
Yeah.
Human mannequin. Wooden. Italian.
That looks really cool.
So I'm like, how much are those? And I always have some number in my head. I'm like, I'll bet those are $2,000. I'm not buying those, right? Fucking they're not. They're so the food dogs, which I don't want because they're like ceramic or something, are $4,000 for the pair. The lions, which I like, are $9,500 for the pair. And then the gold, I was asking about. There's a mirror in the background of one of the. Here it is. That mirror. I'm like, is that a mirror? He comes back with. Yeah, the mirrors are 18th century Italian, hand carved, $8,800. So I'm out on all those. Like, I'm not a buyer on any of those.
John really needs these lions, so I need you to get on the website and order your rifle bags.
Good news is that by the time you hear this will have been over with. So
order a rifle bag so John can get these lions.
Nah,
he really needs these lions.
I'm not a buyer at $9,000. So these vendors come in. These are very high end. This is like museum stuff that was in museums, stuff from estates that folks have died. Carrie Underwood, all your movie actors, Justin Timberlake, their shoppers come and shop this thing. Setups on Thursday. The show opens tomorrow. So all that kind of.
Who'd you say? Carrie's there, right?
Carrie Underwood.
No,
Carrie, our boy Carrie.
Carrie's there.
Southern Rust Furniture, check him out. He's built Amanda's desk. He's built a liquor cabinet. He's building the drawbridge and the fucking castle gates for the front. He's built a lot of stuff for us.
And he's awesome at taking things that are nothing and turning them into something. So if you're looking at your grandpa's rim off his 32 Ford, and you've got a lampshade from your grandma, and you've got this pile of stuff, and you're like, I just don't want to get rid of it because it's from the family. He can actually turn that stuff into furniture that you would use in your house. Pretty cool.
And not like Sanford & Son stuff. Like
no.
His stuff, if you want something truly unique, and don't waste his time getting a quote. Like if you have to ask how much it costs, you probably can't afford it. And he has at least a year wait. Like, his stuff is absolutely amazing. These people, these artists and stuff, building literally these $8 million, $10 million castles and mansions and shit, they are shopping with Carrie. Like, they come in and buy his shit. Like, when I walk into Carrie's booth Saturday, everything will be sold. Like, it will have all sold within the first hour on Friday when they open up. So check him out. Stealing firearms from vehicles, stealing firearms. Seems like Skully is undefeated in gun debates so far.
No, I mean, I don't want to take that.
Stealing firearms from vehicles has become an increasing problem in constitutional carry states. Bad guys will go to a bar parking lot, break out 20 car windows, knowing they will get a couple of pistols. It is unfortunate, but you can't nerf the world. You can't nerf the world.
Yeah.
And a person's right to defense outweighs property theft.
I think once again, it's you have a responsibility. If you are specifically going to a bar, I mean, I don't want to tell you to leave your gun at home, but if you're putting it in your car, it's no use to you either. Remember the first thing a dude does when he breaks into a car? The first thing he does is look under the seat. So when you take your gun out and you put it under your seat because you're like, they can't see it because it's under my seat. That's the first place they look. Second place is the glove compartment. Lock it in your trunk.
John, when you do live feeds and people ask you what you think of that current event, you always say that you don't care since it doesn't directly affect you. I work with someone that gets so worked up about anything Trump does or anything he doesn't agree with, like the MAGA hat wearing high schoolers in D.C. and the American Indian protester banging his drum, making a big stink about it in front of everyone, refusing to listen to anyone that disagrees with him. That only gets him more riled up. I just put my earbuds in and tune him out. All of that negativity and anger is going to give that person a heart attack or stroke one day over shit that will never directly affect him. That's what I'm saying is, like, people ask me stuff about the news. I'll go through spurts where for 6 months I won't know anything current events. Think about it. If you spent the prior 5 years not knowing anything about current events, not knowing anything about news, no radio station, all you did was listen to music, you didn't see any current event stuff anywhere on Facebook or social media, would your life be any different right now? It would probably be better because you would have spent those thousands of hours doing something, for yourself.
Doing something else. Well, you know what I can't stand? I can't stand with news now is Fox is the worst at this. News alerts. Everything can't be a fucking alert. You've ruined it, dudes. You've totally ruined it by crying wolf for everything. Cat in a tree. Fox News exclusive alert. Their fucking red banner and everything. You've killed it, dudes. You have killed it.
You guys need to look. You need to look at mainstream news as fake. Whether it's CNN, Fox, Republican, Democrat, whatever it is all a show. There is too much shit out there right now. It's scripted. They get a script at 4:30 in the morning. You can see videos of fucking hundreds of different news stations reading the exact same script. And if it's fucking DC news or fucking political news, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't fucking change your life. It takes your time. Amusement means no thought. And that's what it is. They are news readers. There is not any fucking real news in there that affects you. Fuck, even the weather they don't get right. Your fucking phone will tell you the weather without seeing any news shit. Training should be something all gun owners should want to do to be proficient with their gun, but I don't think it should ever be required, especially by law. Before you know it, training classes will back up, prices will skyrocket, people wouldn't make the cut, and that'll be a form of infringement, in my opinion.
Yeah, it just goes back to that thing we said before about the government getting involved. Because then the government's going to set a standard. What's the standard? Blah, 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 blah. Once bureaucrats get involved in something, like, let them get involved in your health care. Once they get involved in that shit, it's just going to be a fucking disaster. Yes, once again, I said it before and I've said it again. you have a responsibility as a gun owner to ensure that you know how to properly handle that gun and that you can maintain it in a safe manner. That includes, if you've got little kids and you're stuffing it under your mattress, you're a fucking idiot. That's a responsibility that you need to take care of. Be smart, man. Just be smart. Because once again, like I said before, I don't care what kind of a fucking hardcore ninja, black belt, fucking jiu-jitsu master you are. Your gun gets used in a crime that kills a child or kills anybody, really. That whole, I can do what I want with my gun underneath the mattress, that's not going to fucking mean shit. If it doesn't fucking ruin you, then you don't deserve to have a gun anyways.
Stock up now, people. The left is on the move to control your lives.
You damn right they are.
We focus on the left. You guys need to remember the people that control the left also control the right. Those puppet masters, it's all a fucking show. It's WWE. The people involved probably believe they're against the right, and the right believes they're against the left, but the people that control them, the permanent government, it's all a fucking show. It's to divide you. How do I order the belt keepers with the Velcro that Pierre had? Send me an email. We'll probably put that online so you can order those. I don't think you have to fire 1,000 rounds for a class to own a gun, but it wouldn't hurt for people to take a concealed carry course. If nothing else, they fire off a mag.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, it's your responsibility. That's a big responsibility to have a firearm. Get some training. You don't have to go to Thunder Ranch. I mean, there's plenty of places that offer basic handgun safety courses or basic rifle courses. Go take the training. This is what's going to happen. You're going to go take the training. You're going to have fun. And you're probably going to end up shooting the gun more than you would have if you didn't take the training. So you're going to become more proficient with the firearm. And being more proficient will ultimately make you safer.
You same guys, because there's a bunch of you same guys that are like, you shouldn't have to fire 1,000 rounds. You shouldn't have to take class, whatever. Okay. Why the fuck are you not, though? Like, I expect if you're listening to this show, you have had some fucking kind of training. Because the same dudes that are like, you shouldn't have to take a class, you're the same dudes that are shooting your gun and not fucking maintaining your gun. You don't know any fucking malfunction drills. You don't know any failure drills. You should know that. Especially you guys commenting on here. You should have fucking done those classes because you're going to know how to run that gun at that point. It's not about it's not about necessarily the safety of it. It's how to fight with that fucking gun. Road Ghost, I think firing 2 boxes, 100 rounds would be a good compromise. Adam Bolin, I think passing the background check at the store is more than enough that it should be it. If you own more than one fucking gun and you're buying your second, your third, and your fourth gun, you should have fucking fired some bullets. That's as a dude, like, I don't shoot. I have not fired a gun in over 15 years, probably. We were firing thousands of rounds at a time, a day. Like, we would go in literally with a fucking can of ammo between two of us, and when we left, there's an empty fucking can of ammo. We fucking shot all the time. 3 of these guys have the right shoes on. Solomon's for the win. Got the same pair for myself and my son in Maritime College. Right on. He's talking shit about your shoes.
I don't give a shit. Vasks are far superior shoes.
Bullshit. I bought this motherfucker.
Vask.
He wears them till they wear out.
Vask.
He would rather wear Solomon's.
Solomon's don't. They're just so.
I think we have soft. A hipster here. I don't know who he's talking about. Probably Pierre. 10mm is not practical for a class. Though I am a big supporter of practice with what you carry, but damn. Ammunition, other than ball, does not always expand as advertised. It just doesn't. Skully is correct. It will most likely be a pass-through depending on the distance, and most incidents happen within 3 to 6 feet. It is not placement, which obviously comes with much more training, and train you should if you carry a weapon.
Train you should. That's a good idea. Train. And
you want to see some crazy shit that you won't even go out after you look at this dude's fucking Facebook page. You'll just stay home. Ed's Manifesto. Super cool dude. Met him at Blade Show. Eli knows. We got a bunch of friends that know this dude. He operates down in Mexico a lot. His whole thing is how to get out if caught. how to be prepared, everything, everywhere, anyone can kill you. And every day he's posting videos, surveillance footage videos of this chick. She's like the last one I saw, just a female. She's walking around, just literally walking past some dudes on the street, stabs the dude. He keeps walking. He doesn't even know he was fucking stabbed. You can see the blood coming out of his shirt. She walks a couple more feet up the street, stabs another dude. Like, it is fucking crazy. People going toe to toe. Just some dude talking. Two guys come up to him, getting this little altercation. Dude fucking pulls something out while the one dude fucking just reaches forward a couple times. The other dude kind of comes to the side, falls down dead. Like, it is anything, anywhere can kill you. Anybody, especially when you don't expect it. Look at the bitch. Look at all the footage going around. That footage in Australia, the chick walking in the Quickie Mart with an axe. That's a couple years old. I saw that a couple years ago, but it's going back around now. They saw that bitch walk in with an axe. They thought it was a Halloween costume or something, until she fucking hit a dude in the face and fucking hit another person in the head and then fucking in the body with a fucking axe. Honestly, and I know you're going to tell me it was a transvestite. We know. Honestly, I've looked for the belt video but haven't seen it. I haven't searched. Josh Major, it's the Well-Rounded Warrior for you guys listening to this. Just look at his YouTube channel. I know that they replied and gave you a link to it. I saw it. Adam Gardner. Oh, there it is. They're giving you a link to it. Love the podcast. Fighting Shotgun is the next tactical response class. I will take SOE 12 gauge for the win. So, for you guys that don't know, they would do that. That was on the schedule once a year, and they oftentimes didn't have enough students show up to even do the class. When we came out with the 12 gauge micro rig, that fucking completely changed. Maybe it's coincidence. I don't think it's fucking coincidence. They ran that class many, many times, and they'd have like 3-4 dudes in it. Now they fill that fucking class up.
If you're going to offensively do anything with a shotgun, get a micro rig. Or a cop rig. Cop rig gives you, 12 more?
Yeah, 12
gives
more.
You 12 more.
Plus it gives you a dedicated medical.
Then it gives you dedicated medical. But if you're thinking you're going to run with a shotgun, the micro rig's the only way to go. Doing that, pulling the fucking shotgun shells out of your pocket.
We told Pierre that. Pierre's like, I'm just going to use...
That's just ridiculous.
And I go, why are you just going to use... Like, I would have given Pierre a rig. He used his chick's rig instead.
And don't get me wrong. After Way of the Gun, I was pulling shotgun shells out of my dump pouch. You goddamn right I was.
Everybody was, because that's the only way to do it. That was the only thing there was. And it worked. Until something better came along.
Yeah.
Which... Fucking Steve Fisher told him. I told him. Fucking dudes who had taken the class told him. Everybody told him. I don't know why he fucking tried it. Like, you could be like, Pierre, don't eat that dog shit. It's going to make you sick, and it's dog shit. Pierre will come back and be like, you were right, bro. I got sick after I ate the dog shit.
I was just going to try it.
So, he did. And he fucking ran a couple fucking rounds through with this fucking dump pouch, this roll-up spent mag pouch. And I told him, I said, you're going to pull them out and you're going to have to index them. You got to fight with which way they're going to go. When they come out of the rig, they all come out the same way. And he said he loaded around and fucking backwards, jam the gun up.
Pierre, I am very disappointed that you did not shoot the Benelli all the way through the course. Someone told me you only did half the course with the Benelli. That's, nobody likes a quitter, Pierre.
Thanks for having me on. Pleasure was all mine. Well-Rounded Warrior. There's Josh right there. Last one. Just found your YouTube and subbed. Follow you on my IG as well. Hey guys, for you guys that don't know, Well-Rounded Warrior on YouTube. Go follow him. Follow him on Facebook and Instagram also. Josh is a super fucking cool dude. He knows a lot of shit other than just this gun stuff too. Follow him. You'll enjoy it. If you need a car and you live around Nashville, you need to go and fucking talk to his wife's fucking dealerships. Molly's awesome also. Ed Hubble, he was on there. Pierre, Pierre works for Mercedes. If you guys need any Mercedes shit, that's the dude to fucking talk to. And that dealership owns the Porsche dealership as well as a few others. Fucking super good dudes.
The reality is, if you have some sort of craziness car thing that you need a question answered to,
don't call Pierre.
Call Pierre, because he can answer it.
You hit Pierre up and be like, hey, what's your PayPal? You send him $100 before you ask him a fucking question. Same thing with Rappaport. If you don't know these guys, don't fucking hit them up. This is their living. Fucking pay them for the advice. It'll save you a lot of money. Pay them for the advice.
We need to talk to Well-Rounded Warrior.
Jody Bauckham is Weapons Junkie on Instagram. Follow his page. He's lost fucking Instagram. Has been unsubscribing motherfuckers left and right. Follow him. He is always out at gun events. He will show you some cool shit before you see it anywhere else. We need to talk to Well-Rounded Warrior because he has an Abrams tank.
Yeah, I was just wondering at what point. So if we were taking parts off the Abrams, at what point would his unit be like, where's the Abrams?
I think when they come in and a track's missing, that might or turret.
Turret, yeah, I got the turret. I bet the turret would be a problem. I also thought, thinking about where it's located at.
Yes.
And this is just hypothetical. This is not a reality. So if this happens, it has nothing to do with me. But I thought, I wonder how far, like.
Well, when you drive, once you drive it out of there without the parade tracks, you're probably going to be able to follow those tracks.
Once you got it out of there,
where you are.
Once you got it out of there and you got off road, I wonder how far I could get before somebody was like, "Hey, where's the tank?"
Oh, I bet you could get it to wherever you're going. But the problem is they'll be able to follow the tracks from the air. The only thing they could stop, they'd have to have a Cobra or better.
I wonder how far I could get. You don't need to blow it up. I mean, I'll give it back. I just want to joyride it a little bit. That's all.
We saw what happened in San Diego. We actually know the dude that fucking shot that dude.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, guys. Podcast.
Podcast. Look at all that.
Disco.
Jesus.